Okay, we've obviously learnt a couple of chords, A5 and G5.
Indeed.
To put that into some kind of musical context, we need to understand something about rhythm. I think the first thing to understand is that music is ordered into bars.
Okay.
So it's divided up into something we can understand and relate to. Now, the most common type of bar is divided into 4 beats. 4 beats in a bar. That's the most common, number of beats you'll hear in any kind of bar, especially in rock music.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you have one note which lasts for those 4 beats, it lasts for the whole of a bar, and consequently, it's called a whole note.
All right. How would that sound?
How that would sound is if I play my guitar and count the 4 beats, I count myself in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hit the chord once on beat 1, and I let it sustain or ring on through the other 4 beats. So that's called a whole note because it lasts for the whole of a common time bar. Okay?
All right, so that's how it sounds.
Yes.
On here, on our Gigajam course notes,
yes,
we've got the visualisation of it, how it would look in a piece of sheet music.
Correct.
And there it is there, and it's kind of just a little circle. It's
a circle without a stem. It's just a circle all by itself. It lasts for the 4 beats, as we've discussed, and it's an empty note. It's not. Some of the notes later on will be filled in. There'll be black notes in effect and have stems up or down. But this particular note is just like an egg-shaped type note, circular note, a white note, lasts for 4 beats.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to be using these in the exercise that we
will
have.
be using these in the exercise. Just before we actually dial up the extractor and start playing the exercises, I'd just like to speak a little bit about how we practice changing our chords between A5 and G5 and some problems that people might encounter when they're playing those chords. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the exercise, which we will then come to shortly, which is in the course, but I'll use that anyway. I'll play A5 for 2 bars, which means I'll count 2 bars of 4 beats. I'll then change over to a G5, which is another 2 bars of 4 beats.
And will you use whole notes?
Whole notes. If the chord sustains for the 4 beats, it must be a whole note. That's what it would look like written down. Okay. Okay. Now, when we play the chords, I'll count myself in again. This is what we're going to try and achieve. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Down to G, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, the hardest part of playing the guitar, especially at the beginning, is moving chords around quickly. What I think a lot of people will find is when they move the chords, their fingers don't move quite together. One moves down okay, but the other one gets left behind, or those kind of stuff. You just have to persevere, and it's just muscle memory, getting used to the feel of the chord under the fingers, feeling quite comfortable with it, getting used to that feeling, and then trying to move it as one straight down. Ah,
so not leading with the first and sort of following with the third finger.
Don't lead with one and then move the other one along. You've got to move both of the fingers simultaneously.
Do you almost lock it so it's sort of rigid?
Yeah, in a relaxed kind of a way. That's a very important point, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because if you grip too hard and you then try and move, you've locked yourself on the guitar. Yeah. And as you move down over the fret markers, you feel like you're bumping over them, gidink, 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 as you move down, okay? If you just relax a little bit and, you've got to press down hard enough that the strings play, clearly. If I don't quite press down hard enough, it's not really working. I've got to press down cleanly. But to be honest with you, it's more to do with accuracy than strength. I've seen 6-year-old kids play the guitar, and it's not because they're so strong, it's just that they're pressing the guitar string straight into the fingerboard. They're not pressing it up, they're not pressing it down, they're not pressing it into the fret. Again, if the finger presses on the metal fret, it won't play. It's buzzy and rattly. You want...
Just behind?
Just behind, in the middle of the frets or just in front of the next fret up. But if it's in there, you'll hear it, it'll be clear. So it's got to be quite accurate. Don't press too hard. You'll get the feel for it once you've practiced it a little bit, and then move down as one, quite relaxed. The other thing I'd like to say about that is, especially with the overdrive sound we're using on the amplifier here, when you move, you'll hear a whoosh kind of noise. That's finger noise. I noticed that, yeah. You'll hear finger noise on the strings, which isn't the same as the chord sounding sliding your way down. So again, when we change chords, this will be pointed out very clearly when we use the extractor in a second, you need to move the chord quickly, but as late as possible. You can't you've got each chord will last for 4 beats.
Yeah.
You can't cheat and leave on beat 3.
And get
so you've
ready.
got 2 beats to get ready for the next chord. You've got to see through the 4 beats and at the last possible moment, move the chord down quickly onto the new chord. I'll just demonstrate that again.
Yeah.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So I'm moving the chord quite late.
Just literally just before
just
the
at the
one
last minute.
comes in.
The whole note lasts for 4 beats. You've got to let that chord sustain for the whole 4 beats. So if we move over to the Gigajam coursework that you would have downloaded, you'll see above the exercise there, that's the exercise I was just playing, we've got our 3 icons. I think what's very useful is to look at the video clip first of all.
Yeah.
So anybody playing this at home gets an idea as to what's going on. They can hear the exercise, and they can read it through as they watch the video. So if we'd like to just bring that up and watch the video of me playing that exercise now, that'll be, here we go, that'll be nice. And you'll see how that corresponds with the music that's written there on the page.
And obviously the beauty of this is so you can double check if you're getting it right.
Exactly. You can hear it, you can see it. You
We
can
can
hear the
hear
4
it.
beats there.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Here's the
4.
move. 2, 3, 4. 1. Back up to A5.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So as you can see, each chord's sustaining for those whole 4 beats.
Yeah.
I'm only playing one of them in each bar.
And just hitting the 6th and the 5th strings.
Just hitting the 6th and the 5th strings, that's absolutely correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, if you'd like to bring up the guitar extractor,
Yep, sure.
what I will do is I will play along on my guitar, just practice playing along with that. We'll demonstrate how the extractor can help you by playing the exercise by speeding up and slowing down, and then we'll record a performance in a couple of moments.
Okay, just while that's loading up, can we talk through the written notation that we've got there on the bar?
Yes.
And the sort of positioning of the notes?
Okay. The whole note there, as you can see, is written towards the front end of the bar because it lasts for the 4 beats. So we tend to write it, or we write it above where beat 1 would happen. We wouldn't write it at the end where beat 4 would happen.
Right.
So they're written at the front, and the C that you can see at the beginning of the line.
Ah, just there, yeah.
Yep, that stands for common time.
4
which
beats
means
in a
4
bar.
beats in a bar, because you can have different numbers of beats in a bar. But in rock music, most of the time it's 4 beats in a bar. Consequently, it's called common time because it's the most common.
And the positioning of this whole note on the stave, we've got A there being in the sort of
Yes.
second gap up.
Okay, what we've done there is in the guitar course we're not worrying about teaching people the harmonic pitch of notes at this stage. However, we have put the notes in their correct place. So underneath the A5 you'll see it's in a space, which is the space for A, and on the G it's on the second line up, which is a space for G. We're not worried about people learning those, but it's kind of subliminally that will have gone in for when we learn to read notes at some later stage.
Okay, but we don't need
Okay.
to worry about that at the
Don't
moment.
worry about it right now, not at all, merely the rhythm.
All right.
So if we have the extractor there, if you'd like to mute out the overdrive guitar for me, please. Thank
There
you.
we go.
And basically just hit play. I'll just play along.
There's the metronome
Full counts
counting you in. 1, 2, 3. Changing to the G. And our second whole note on that. Back up to the A. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the A. The G. My apologies. That's the A.
Yeah.
A at the 5th.
G at the third.
G at the 3rd.
Okay, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
obviously, if that's a little bit too fast, you can go to the tempo marking and you can slow that right down. So it becomes more easy, which I would suggest anybody beginning will want to run this a little bit slower. That's probably quite fast.
Yeah.
So you can knock it down to whatever speed you like and then just play at that speed.
Okay.